first guest of the day on FT Live, Pittsburgh Pirates star, back with the squad too. Andrew McCutchen joining us right now. Cutch, look at this crew you're jumping into. Cain's debut as a media personality. Here he is. Cutch, how you doing today? And you just heard him. How did he sound doing a little analysis?
Hey, I tell you what, we got a whole bunch of busted up knees right now in this conversation that's going on between the three of us. Come on, body.
Come on, body.
God, you get in the hot tub just to get on this interview? Like, was this too much energy for you?
Had the Epsom salt in the tub. I had to request a tub for my room, man. I gotta get this body right. Gotta get it right, you know. We good though. We good. Getting them needles, low. Getting them needles.
Man, I miss you, man. I just want to say that. I miss you, man. Let me tell you.
Hey, me and Lo shared some good laughs. I'll tell you what, man. We shared some good laughs last year, man. So yeah, it was a grind. We still grinding though, man. That jungle, boy, it'll get you.
That jungle. Lion, tigers, and bears out there. Let me tell you.
Well, you look great, Cutch. So
appreciate it.
So first off, let's just get into how life is right now, back with your OG squad. And there's been some really cool moments already for you, and we're a couple weeks into the season. For you personally, the team's playing pretty well right now too. So give me your analysis on what it's like to be back with Pittsburgh.
Man, it's been great, man. The guys are, they're all in. That's all you can ask for from a young group of guys, the young core guys like that. You know, it's just a matter of when you're around that group. It's letting them know, man, that you're in the big leagues. You know, you're there for a reason, and you're good. If you weren't good, you know, you wouldn't be there. So, you know, people can say what they want about you and about your ball club, but you know, you're there and you're in the league. It's just all about believing that you are good. You know, and so I think with people like me, Santana, Hedges, even Rich Hill, like all these guys, just letting them know that, you know, that they're good, that we can go out and compete with anybody. That gives them that, you know, just that wanting, that willingness to go out there and play hard. So that's what these guys are doing, and it's been good thus far. These first however many 13 games we played. So it's been fun, man. We've been having a good time.
Nice. Hey, Kutch, quick question for you, man. Just coming from a guy that had that standing O when I went back to Kansas City, I just want to know, just explain the emotions. Like, just give me a little feedback on what you felt when you stepped back on the field.
Boy, I went up, right? So I was like, I'm gonna cry in the car, right? Keep it together. So I was like, the whole time I was like, you know what? Don't try to control your emotions, because it's only gonna happen one time. You know, you're only gonna really experience this experience one time. So let your emotions be whatever they are. So I kind of went up there, just, you know, let my emotions doing what they needed to do. But man, I messed around and looked up in that suite where my family was, and then that's when it hit me. And I was like, man, you know what? Just go ahead and let the tears flow if they're gonna flow. So I sat there for a little bit, and then I realized, like, man, you still got to hit that white ball coming in. So don't be crying. You got to clear them eyes. So they said, you ready? I said, man, I'm as ready as I'm going to be, but I know I'm swinging first pitch. I don't care what his ball is. And he threw it out over the plate. I swung at it, got a hit, and I said, man, that's a wrap for me. But the emotions was high. It was a great feeling, man. And the fan base, you got about 40,000 fans there. They was dressed in all black, and you know, you kind of had a reminiscent for us our first playoff game in 20 years back in 2013. So it was just kind of living in the past a little bit, and you know, it was euphoric, man. That was a good moment for me.
Nice.
Hey, Kutch, we are celebrating Jackie Robinson on this show today, of course, because tomorrow's Saturday. We're not on, so we had a really deep conversation right before about kind of some of the statistics right now. I mean, black players in the game, the number is frankly too low. And Cain was explaining a couple things, including hey, he wants to be more active, be a more prominent voice to young ball players. First off, just wanted to get your universal take on where the game is at with Black players in the sport, making it to MLB and then going down the line, just getting African Americans involved in the game of baseball and making sure that all of those opportunities are available for Black players to be able to play this great game.
Yeah, man, I think it's for us, it's changing the narrative of baseball being boring. Because growing up, even for me as a kid, that's what a lot of kids would say. All the people in my neighborhood and things like that was baseball is boring. I rather play football. I rather play basketball. It's more fun, and I think we're in a place now to where the game is evolving, it's changing as we get to see. We got pace of play, and guys are showing a little more emotion. They're even physically the flair that they wear. I think the game is becoming is more fun, and more fun to watch. And I think that's first and foremost. But the number of African Americans in the game is very low, and I think that all goes back to the beginning of kids and inner cities and neighborhoods. We got all these showcases. We have all these games that are happening to where these teams are coming in and these organizations are coming in and saying, if you go to this showcase, you'll get that exposure. Well, these showcases are driving the inner city and African American families away from the game. So they're not able to have the access to these showcases, to have the finances to be able to pay for it. And, I think these kids are falling down by the waistline because of it. So it's giving these kids the opportunity, giving these families the opportunity to be able to play the game, but not only play it, get the exposure that they need to be able to have the opportunity to go to the next level. And I know baseball, Major League Baseball is doing a good job of it, and it's just going to continue to keep going in the right direction. It's just going to be one of those things that's going to take some time for sure.
That's not a mic check for you, Scotty. That was for Kratz. When we used to play in AAA, Kratz would play. Do you remember where it came from? You can tell the story. Nobody wants to hear me tell the story.
I don't remember where you came from. You know what? Like, I honestly don't even remember why we even started doing that. I just remember when we were roommates in AAA, and you said, "All right, hey man, listen. When I sleep at night, sometimes because we used to room together. We used to room on the road. We used to double up everywhere. So Kratz said, "Hey, just let you know, when I fall asleep, I snore sometimes. That's because I'm on my back." He's like, "So if I snore and it gets kind of loud, just give me a hey Kratz or something." He's like, and I'll stop. And I'll never forget. It was like the first night, and Kratz was snoring, and it woke me up, and I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "Kratz, Kratz," like that, and he was like, "What's up, buddy?" And I was like, "You snoring, buddy?" He's like, "Okay, buddy." And he rolled over on his side and he stopped snoring. So that was kind of like the thing that I remember with us. It was like one of the first moments I remember with Kratz was those times.
That was when we were in Indianapolis. Kratz and I played together in Indianapolis, and like to see your career. Like obviously, Ben, we've been talking. We've always done that. Wherever you see you in center field, sometimes I'd even show up to games. You'd be like, "I didn't even know you were on our team." But get traded partway through the year. But no, to say what Kutch means to me as a player, like to watch him come up as a young player and now being old as dirt. He is like it's more than just baseball. Like Kutch was my oldest son, Braden, who's now 16. It was his favorite player when we played in Indianapolis together. He used to call him, he couldn't say McCutchen, so he would call him Touchin. And I mean, it goes so, like, to me, that's how, like, teammates and relationships, it goes super deep. And Kutch was always that guy. So that kind of all leads me to this question. Like, as black players, and Loke, maybe you can talk about it too, what can we do as teammates? Because I know, like, for a Latin player, for me, how do I connect? How do I connect with each of these guys? It's different as a backup catcher than it is as an outfielder. But how do I connect with – I know I can connect with a Latin player by trying to speak my broken Spanish. Like, connecting with black players, what can I do? What can players do to make it so it's like so we don't have a divide, or we include more guys in? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the hardest thing for a player like myself to do, right? And this is the narrative for a lot of African Americans in the game. When you're coming up through the system, and even when you make it to the major leagues, it gets. I mean, you see it on a bigger spectrum for me, but you feel like you're by yourself. In most cases, you are. You may be the only black player on the team, or there's going to be maybe one, maybe two. And so a lot of times you're not in a place to where you feel like you're trying to divide yourself. You're just trying to be around someone who can relate to you as a person, not just a player, but understands who you are and where you're from, and they get it. So a lot of times when you have that division or the separation, it has nothing to do with it being just because it's a division or a separation. It's just because you can relate with the person next to you. Now, a lot of times that's why you have when the Dominicans or Venezuelan or whoever, and they're together, and you have a group of other guys, white guys even, that are together, and then you have the black guys. There's no division. It's just a matter of us having an understanding of each other. Ways that guys can help with that, ways that you can help with that, is just having that understanding yourself, asking the questions, getting nuggets, asking where people are from, where it's like simple things like that, and not being afraid to ask questions that you don't have answers to. I think that is the hardest thing for any person of any other race other than your own, is to be able to ask questions that you don't know the answers to. There's always this the feeling of, I don't want to hurt or upset him if I ask him this question. It's like, no, ask me the question. I want you to know the answer. I want you to understand why I feel the way that I feel, or why I act this way, or why, so I think that's it. I think it's letting your guard down and say, you know what, I don't know this, so I'm going to ask. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's with anything. It's with anything. That goes both ways too.
Mm-hmm. That's well said, Coach. I mean, it's hard to really add anything to that. Well said. And I've never really had an issue with, I guess, clicking with people. I feel like I've always been able to click, no matter the race, black, white, Latino. Like, I've always clicked well with guys, and it's because I just open up and just talk to people. Like, it doesn't bother me to just, I don't know you, I'll say hi. Every time I see you in the clubhouse, what's going on, man? Every time I come in the clubhouse, I speak to everyone. I don't just speak to a certain group, or, I speak to everyone. I'm nice to everyone. And I think that makes the connection flow a little better, and it makes it easier for us to kind of talk to each other as it just man to man. You in the clubhouse, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing today? How you feeling? Something simple as that can definitely bring everyone together for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, if tomorrow we had no hot tubs and you could pick whatever shoes you wanted, who's stealing a base first? Cain, Quentin Berry, or you, Kutch? No hot tubs.
No hot tubs. Hey, I'm still in the game, so I got to give it to me. Now, Low got to know if he starting the day before, so he can prepare his body.
Low.
And Q gonna attempt to do it, but he for sure gonna blow out. So yeah, I got to give it to me, because I still got to keep my legs some kind of right now. So.
Yes, I haven't
ran. How many you gonna get this year? How many you gonna get this year, Kutch?
I was asking myself that. I'm not gonna lie. I just go when I feel like They ain't paying attention to me. So I would say, I mean, but honestly, they've been paying more attention to me. You know, I've had dudes pick off one after the other, like pick one, pick two. I've had that done to me twice already. And I'm like, man, you know, I don't know if they have some formula, but both times I've got stolen bases because of it. So, I mean, stealing bases is a little easier. I will say that. So, I mean, hey, when them legs feeling frisky, you're going to have to just miss me because I'm going to get that next base.
I like it.
Guys, you think you would have been a 50 stolen base guy with the new rules when you were younger? When you had them, as Lil Cain said, when you had them good legs,
them good legs, them good knees. Yeah, I'm telling you, easily, I definitely would have been able to steal 50 because of the way that the game is being played now. Guys aren't paying attention to you more. They got to be more strategic with how they pick and when to pick, and you know, it's so much easier to get a bag, especially if you got fresh legs and you're young. Like, man, you get on base, go. It's just go. You know, they ain't gonna pay any attention to you right away. So, you know, I definitely think I'd have been able to.
How many would you had?
I don't know because I'm trying to think back. I don't know the most bags I ever gotten in the season. It probably would have been somewhere around 30 or 31, whatever that it is. So,
I mean, I would have thought I would
have been at least somewhere around 50, like probably somewhere around there.
And one last. One last that we gotta. I mean, from me on this subject. Now we've been talking about it. Is it the disengagements from the pitchers, or is it 4.5 inches? Is 4.5 inches big?
It's mad. Yeah, the bases are feel a lot bigger when you on the bag. They feel a lot bigger. Now you can't tell the difference when you're stealing, but you know, getting back to first base on a close pickoff, I feel like you can get back. And but the disengagement thing is huge because you could try and get the pitcher to pick. That like your job as a base stealer, like get him to pick early so you can have a little more wiggle room to make up your mind if you want to steal the bag. So there's a lot more strategy that goes on along with stealing. So, but I think the disengagements is the reason why a lot more guys stealing.
Hey, Kutch, I got a fan question from Caleb. He said, Cardinals fan here, just wondering about the impact Kutch has had with G1 Bay and tips for center field, with Bay having only his 7th start in center last night and looking great out there. He made a sick catch. So is he talking to you about how to handle it out there? Because you've done your thing in that position for a long time.
You know what? I think it's a good mix of our outfield coach T. Brock, and you know, we definitely go out early and we all work. We work in the outfield, so I'm able to give my little tidbits on and info on like what the field does, how the ball moves, and you know, all these guys are just eating us up. They're just, you know, brains are sponges. They're eating it up and listening, and you know, Bay's doing a great job out there. He's a guy that he's a spark plug for the team. So as we can see, he saved the game twice yesterday for us, you know, and you know, made a big catch out at the wall and saved a couple runs, and then he made a diving catch too. So he could do a lot out there, use his legs, and you know, for me, I just try to tell him, hey, you know, if you can't catch the ball, then I catch it. But if you can catch it, you catch it. So you know, so that kind of gives him the leeway to be able to run after balls and catch them. Because a lot of times, that you know, you can get in that situation like, I don't know, maybe Kutch can catch that ball. I don't want to run into him, you know. So you don't go after the ball. So for me, letting him know, like, hey, if you catch the ball, go get it. That's saving my knees. So, you know, telling them that, and you know, I think that's been helpful for him. But he's been definitely surprising a lot of people out there.
Hey, Kutch, last from me is back to Jackie Robinson Day. Do you have anything personally planned for the day, for tomorrow, that you're looking forward to? And then also, as part of that, we were kicking this around earlier. How can someone like you be a mentor to many young black ball players out there? I'm talking, I mean, of course, you talk to other guys in the league, but talking minor league, talking college. down to high school, youth sports, because Cain's like, yo, I'm busy during the season. It's hard. And my thing is, is there a way to use your phone and use the connectivity of the internet better, where we can hold these like massive, group chats or conversations to be able to connect with someone, because that could completely change the trajectory of not just like their career, but their life, to talk to people like you that are inspirations.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like first to answer your first question, we always have these little moments when, I'm represented by Nike. They send us cleats and things like that. And so they sent me kind of a bunch of stuff that I could wear that day. So, I plan to wear like a jersey to the stadium, and with the Jackie Robinson with the 42 on it. And yeah, man, I just try and dedicate that, and not even just that entire day, but I try and dedicate every day to Jackie. The late Chadwick Boseman, when he came out with the movie 42, there was a moment in that movie where he tips his cap to his wife when he's, coming up to the box. And when I seen that in the movie, I said, I want to do that. And that was kind of my ode to Jackie Robinson. So every time I come at the bat, I'm always tipping my cap. And that's and after my homers, I tip my cap. So that's my ode to Jackie Robinson. That's also for my wife too. So that was kind of my thing that I wanted to do, just to, honor Jackie and his legacy. But I think to answer the other question, yeah, it's big. I'm a guy. I'm kind of like low, but on a little bigger of a spectrum. I'm not on the internet as much. But if it could benefit, if it's for the betterment of the game and growing it, that's what I'm all about, and that's what I would do. So I think there's many ways, especially now, to be able to do it. But I grew up watching the TV. Now you got social media that's real big. So it's putting people out there. Like, I grew up watching Ken Griffey Jr., right? He was the guy that I watched growing up. He was that guy that I wanted to be like. So I think it's finding other people in the game like Ken Griffey Jr. and putting them out there on the scale or spectrum to where other kids see who look like them and who seem to act like them too. That those kids say, "Man, I want to be like that." And I think that's what we need. We need to continue to do a better job of in driving that narrative, pushing that narrative. So kids like who look like me and who are from places like where I'm from, they go, man, if he can do it, I can do it. So I think that would be big.
All right, I'm gonna take it to the last question, because then we're gonna let you go, because you got to get in the tub. We know that you can't get. You got to get out there and get them legs right. But the last question I got, and I ask this to everybody that I think is an absolute stud of a human, because I know you're a Hall of Fame dad and person. How long you got to play to be a Hall of Famer? What do you need, and do you have it in you?
Man, I don't know. I think, I mean, of course, you got the accolades and the numbers. You have all those things that you need, I feel like. And, for me, I think I would have to play a few more years to even be considered. But, but at the end of the day, man, you gotta have the wins under your belt. I think you gotta have the championship under your belt. You gotta have the playoff runs and the numbers under your belt for that. And you could be a really, really great baseball player, but you got to win. I think that's first and foremost, and that's what people remember. People remember you as a good baseball player, but they remember those championships. They remember the championship runs and the playoff runs. And I think that's ultimately, I think that's what you need. So, that's going to be more than a me thing. That's going to be a we thing, and hopefully I'm able to play as long as I want and my body holds up. And if so, like, I'm gonna keep pushing, and man, it'd be some kind of awesome to be able to turn that thing around over here with the Pirates again. And because I think that's what people will remember the most.
Hell yeah, got my vote. Kutch, awesome to have you on, man. Really appreciate the time, especially for the big day too. Cain's debut, his birthday yesterday, just perfect timing. We appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah, man, aging like wine over there, Lo.
Yeah, man.
Well, you just like mine over there, man. Got the deer in the backyard.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get out there and cut some grass tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah, cut some grass.
Cut some grass out there. Man, you got the deer. You got the deer out there. They'll eat. They'll cut the grass for you.
Yeah, you're right. I got some cows too, so I let them take care of that.
Yeah,
living that farm life. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Hey, Kutch, awesome to have you on. Good luck today, and we appreciate you.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all.